gets dipped in gold, then baby it will never
What's
grow.
up, beautiful people? If you found your way to this video, I need you to know that that is not by mistake, and I'm very glad to see you here today. My name is Key, and this is SYB the series, a collection of questions, conversations, and action steps that we are taking to change our life from the inside out. Y'all, I feel like I haven't said that in ages. It's only been 2 weeks, but in internet world, 2 weeks might as well be 2 years. Like, do y'all even remember who I am? Y'all with me or y'all with me? Hiatuses, like creative breaks, very, very, very necessary, right? Especially when you make the type of content that I do, where it's very like energetically focused on giving to other people. Sometimes you need to just live life and experience things for yourself, not share those experiences, right? Not use them as motivation for a video. Just simply live and be in these moments extremely presently. So that's really what I was doing these past 2 weeks, y'all, and let me tell you, it has been extremely fruitful, right? Sometimes the most creative thing that I can do is shut the fuck up and just let life happen. This is a video that I kind of wanted to talk about already, but I recently just went to St. Louis. My mom's base, damn near whole family is there. My mother was born there, buried there. So St. Louis is really sacred ground for me, especially in my adulthood, and realizing just a little bit more about the energy that different spaces hold. Every time I go back to St. Louis, I come back with some sort of enlightenment. And so today, y'all, I want to talk about how important it is for us to understand our present selves and our future selves, and how in order to do that, we need to look backwards, right? And I know that people say like, oh, don't live in the past, don't revisit the past too much. But I think that there's a difference in revisiting and living in the past to dwell there versus revisiting and living in the past to understand it, take from it, and learn to move forward. I have been in a space of really, really heavily like wanting to learn about who my parents were just as people, right? Take away their title of being my mom or my dad. Who was Jackie as a woman and a little girl and a teenager? Who was Robert as a young man and a little boy? I've had to learn these things, some of them, well, most of them, vicariously through other people, because my mother passed when I was 20, so I've only got, 20 years worth of experience with her. And you know how parents be like, you too young. I'm not gonna tell you all that because you too young. It was a lot of that. So by the time I was old enough to truly absorb like my mother's life experiences, she wasn't really here to give them to me in full, in totality. And with my dad, it was even worse because he passed when I was 11. So my frame of reference on him is so much more small. So anything that I'm learning about my parents now, I take it so like, I hold it close to the heart, close to the chest, because what I'm realizing is the more I understand them, the more I learn them, the more I in turn learn myself. And I think that when we are looking back, right, at the past, we can't only focus on the beautiful parts about our ancestors. There was some darkness to their story. There was some trauma to their story. And we have to love on those parts just as much as the good parts, because probably the trauma had more of a lasting impact than anything did, right? So I have been lovingly learning certain things about my parents, and some of it has hurt, right? Some of it is like, damn, I can't believe you went through that, or damn, I can't believe that was a part of your reality, but it makes sense in the way that they parented me, and in turn the way that I parent myself, right? Because that's another thing. At a certain point, like, our parents will always be our parents, but we are raising ourselves, especially if they're not around anymore. So for a really long time, I've been raising myself, I feel like, and just kind of picking up gems along the way. And at times it felt like I was kind of just roaming seamlessly, not really understanding where certain things were rooted from. But looking back, I have found out so much, and I think it's such a beautiful journey. This brings me to the topic of storytelling and why I love what it is that I do right now, who I am in this moment, because I'm so focused on the storytelling aspect of life, right? Because at some point, those stories, those pictures, those videos are going to be the only things that we have to remember our lineage and remember the legacy that came before us. So I'm really big on documentation for that reason. And I'm super, super grateful that my mom was also the same way. I don't know if you can see it, but down there in that blue bin, I got that from my sister when I went to St. Louis recently. And it's just a bin of pictures that my mama had at our old house that I just totally forgot about. And as soon as I saw it, it brought back memories. Going through the pictures and just being transported back to certain spaces once you see them, it's like, they hold so much life in them. And I want to make sure that as I continue to grow, I have documentation of it, right? I don't want anybody to be searching for who Keisha was. I want it to be on display for my future children, my future lover, right? My younger family that's going to grow up and be asking questions about who I was and what I did. And I want to be able to have reference points to the stories that I tell. And a lot of those things are able to happen because of photos and videos and writing and whatever form of documentation it is that you use. So shout out to my mom for that. Okay, damn, my mom always got a camera. It's always pictures around the house. Then once my mom got a camcorder, like, oh my goodness, it was over. That lady was recording any and everything. And when I was young, it was kind of like, girl, you in this camera, like, get this damn camera on my face. But I'm so grateful now because she was truly documenting my life and documenting her life and the lives of people around us. There's people's births on my mother's camera. Like, that is mind-blowing to me that she had the foresight to know how important it was to document these things. If you're fortunate enough to have people around you that are your elders, or people who just have a little more life under their belt, connect with those people, right? Those are storytellers. Those are the people that are going to keep your lineage alive so that you can keep the lineage alive. Like, what are you going to tell your kids if you don't know shit? If you're fortunate enough to have those people around and you have a relationship with them, ask questions, right? Get to the bottom of family secrets and things that never really made sense as a child. You grown now. Ask them questions. You can't stay in a child's place. I'm grown. Tell me. Mend those relationships so that you can ask those questions. Very transparent moment. Me and my older sister have had a rocky relationship, I guess I would say. We are on this path of rebuilding. And I think it's absolutely beautiful because there's so many things that I, as a young woman, can learn from her, right? Instead of fighting each other so much, it's like, let's come together to truly understand. You don't know how much of your history and your ancestry you could be missing out on by harboring these emotions towards people. Now, some relationships can't be mended, right? Or they can be mended, but not to the point where y'all are on talking terms. And I completely understand that. A lot of why you are who you are and who you're going to be is dictated on things that you need to understand about where you came from. That's my call to action this week. Sit down, share those stories. If you have photos, I urge you to take some time to just scroll through, right? Take a trip down memory lane. See what emotions those photos bring up or those videos bring up. And in doing those things, see how it relates to who you are right now. Thoughts that you've had, things that you do. I think that you'll find that it's an extremely beautiful thing to sit down and revisit your past to understand your present. Thank y'all so much for chopping it up with me today. I'm very happy to be back. Hopefully there's not too many more hiatuses that happen, but if there is, baby, know that it's for a good reason. Okay? And I'm gonna be back when spirit tells me to be back. I'm gonna see y'all in the next video.